June mentioned. Hey you, that's my ice cream, you shouted at your lungs out. Your voice was so loud that even the neighbor's dog barked outside. You had come to stay in your sister Yuri's house for a week as the wedding of her husband's cousin was going to happen and his mother-in-law, Mrs. June, had invited you specially. Right now you were yelling at your brother-in-law's naughty cousins Minjun and Tayun. Both of them were around your age and both of them looked like troublemakers who had grown up eating other people's food without permission. They were not even embarrassed. Minjun had his hand already inside your ice cream cup as he was trying to scoop some with his fingers. You groaned without caring that you were catching the eyes of everyone in the living room. You immediately slapped his hand away and then grabbed. Ye Minjun, touch it again and I will shave your head bald. Minjun cried. Ouch, ouch, let go, Nuna. He screamed, his face twisted in pain. But you were not the type to back down. You kicked him on his stomach with your small but deadly foot, and that poor guy fell down. He groaned dramatically as if you had stabbed him with a sword instead of your foot. Before you could celebrate your victory and laughed at him, the other came out. Got you, he shouted and wrapped his arms around you, pulling you down. What the? Tayung, let go of me! You squealed. Poor Minton yelped like a dying puppy as you crashed into him. Everyone's eyes were wide and in shock. The house didn't look like a wedding house but a wrestling match stadium. The scene in front of their eyes was ridiculous. You were half sitting, half laying on Munjun, with your little hair all messy. Your one hand was still clutching Minju's silky hair while Tayan was wrapped around your waist like a snake. The three of you looked like a cartoon where everyone falls into a big mess. Just then your sister Yuri came out from the kitchen, her eyes widened and she looked at you. Oh my, Yin! What are you doing? Can't you behave like a guest for once? Leave them already. She scolded, placing her hand on her waist like a tired mother. But you shook your head stubbornly, your lips jutted out in pout. No, Uni, not at all. He dared to touch my ice cream. Do you know how hard I was protecting it from the freezer monsters? Freezer monsters? He muttered under his breath, still holding your waist but struggling to breathe because of laughter. Your brother-in-law, Jahyun, Yuri's husband, looks at you while scratching his head. Mayanya, stop fighting. I'll buy you another ice cream. No! You shouted, glaring at him as if he had committed a crime. It's not about buying a new one. This was my ice cream. Mine. Yuri groaned loudly, dragging her hand down her face. She looked like she was about to faint. Meanwhile, Mrs. June was giggling with the guest. Hey, God, these kids acting like children in kindergarten. Well, I think this wedding is going to be fun. The other elder ladies laughed. One of them said, my son is a vlogger. If you allow me, can I call him to capture the scene? I'm sure this scene will get millions of likes and my son will get viral. Mrs. June glared at her and the oldie zipped up her mouth while forcing a cheeky smile. Yuri rubbed her temple. Ish, this girl, why mother-in-law called her? She muttered in frustration. Suddenly, an idea popped into her mind. Wait, I know who can stop her. She smirked and quickly ran upstairs. She almost tripped over her dress, but she didn't care. She reached the door of the master bedroom where Jungkook, her brother-in-law, was sleeping peacefully. She knocked. Jungkookia, open the door. It is an emergency. But there was no response. She bit her lip, then barged in. The room was dark, the cream curtains were closed, and on the bed Jungkook laid, hugging his blanket like a baby. His hair was messy, and his lips were parted slightly. Jungkook, get up! She shouted while shaking his shoulder. He groaned. Oh, 5 more minutes. Let me sleep, Nuna. I couldn't sleep well last night. Yuri rolled her eyes, panicking. It is urgent. Please get up, Jungkook. Just give me 5 minutes. Yuri finally dropped the magic words. Wayan is fighting with your cousins. Bam. Jungkook eyes shoot open on that. He sat up immediately. What? He quickly jumped out of the bed. Yuri's smile were rushing behind him. As he entered the living room, he froze at the sight. Your right hand was still tickling Minjun's hair like you were about to scalp him. The elderly woman gasped, seeing Jungkook. Jungkook groaned loudly while running his hand down his face. Seriously? What is going on here? He shouted, catching your attention. As soon as you saw him, your eyes widened, and like a little puppy, you abandoned them. You pushed Taeyun off, jumped up, and ran to Jungkook with teary eyes. Jungkook, yeah, they snatched away my ice cream. Jungkook glared at his cousins. Minjun and Taeyun froze like statues. He didn't even say a word. Both of them looked at each other and disappeared, running away as fast as Tom runs away from Jerry, or maybe even faster, like as seeing a dog with a stick. Everyone laughed, seeing them running away. Jungkook finally turned to you, his face softened immediately. He patted your head and smiled gently. Don't cry, I'll buy you a new ice cream, okay? As many as you want. Promise, even two? Jungkook chuckled, pinching your cheek lightly. Even 10. Everyone was sitting around the grand table while having a lunch. Meanwhile, you sat on the left side of the table, right beside your secret boyfriend Jungkook. On the opposite side sat the troublemakers Minjun and Taeyeon. Mrs. Jun sat at the head of the table, sipping her soup with a warm smile, while you were happily eating the rice. At first, you froze like a statue, your heart raced, you blinked rapidly. Slowly, with shaky breath, you looked up only to see Minjun smirking at you. Your eyes widened to the size of saucers. Without thinking twice, you slammed your fork loudly on the table and yelled, Hey, you, Minjun! The room went silent. Yuri choked on her water. Giant's jaw dropped. Tayan spat his rice back into his bowl, and poor Mr. June gasped, looking at you. Meanwhile, Jungkook's soul left his body. His face turned pale, then red, then pale again. He almost fainted on the spot. He quickly clutched like he had been exposed to the world's biggest scandal. What? I didn't do anything. Are you mad? He shouted. His eyes were literally popping out of his skull. You pointed at him dramatically. Then why you were smirking at me like that? Guilty face much? Oh, no, I can't even smirk. I was just thinking of something funny. He yelled, waving his arms like a madman. Yuri smacked her forehead, groaning. Wine, seriously, don't create the scene. Just eat your food silently or else go back to your room. Why would I go? Ask him to go. He sputtered. Jungkook slapped his forehead so hard that the sound echoed. He leaned down, hiding his face with his hand as he whispered to himself, Ugh, Jungkook, ugh. From the corner of your eye, you saw Jungkook sweating. He gestured wildly with his hand. His finger went to his lips, then zipped across like he was begging you to shut up. That's when your brain finally processed the truth. Oh no, it was Jungkook. You gulped, almost choking on your own spit. Everyone was still staring at you in a disbelief. You forced a nervous smile. Oh, it was a mosquito. Yes, a mosquito. Please enjoy your food, everyone. You sat bowing your head like a comedian caught mid-prank. Everyone blinked at you. You nudged Jungkook's shoulder, smiling, but he only rolled his eyes in return. At night, you were standing in the kitchen refilling your water bottle, but all of a sudden you felt strong fingers. Who idiot is? You squealed only to see Jungkook. Yay, Jungkook, yeah, you scared me, he chuckled. Scared you, princess? You scared me at dinner. Do you realize you shouted about that? You got no chills. Cookie, yeah, I don't know it was you. I thought it was that brat Minjun. Jungkook sighed as he brushed a strand of hair from your face and whispered, It is okay, princess, but never say that loud again, okay, alright? You nodded quickly. Okay, I promise. Jungkook smirked. His voice dropped, low, husky, and teasing. Your face turned red like tomato, and then you nodded. Jungkook smiled in triumph. Suddenly, you both heard the footsteps. Your eyes widened. Instantly, you hopped out of the counter and ran upstairs. Jungkook cursed under his breath, running a hand through his hair. He turned around only to see Minjun scratching his head while holding an empty water bottle. Jungkook glared at him and stormed upstairs. No, what did I do? The next morning, you woke up to petals and fairy lights. The Jeon house looked like so beautiful, strings of tiny lights hanging across the ceiling, pink and white flower petals scattered on stairs and tables, garlands strapped on the banisters. The soft wedding music was playing in the background. You hurried down the stair, licking the last bit of your ice cream from the stick. Jungkook was sitting in the living room with guests and his family. As soon as he looked at you, his eyes brightened up. You blushed so hard that you forgot to throw your empty stick in the bin and instead flung it on the floor like a dramatic mic drop. Your eyes landed on Taeyun, who was standing on a wooden chair and adjusting fairy lights. Your eyes narrowed. You always tease me a lot. Now it is my turn. You muttered to yourself with mischievous smirk and slowly tiptoed to him. You quickly grabbed everyone's eyes widened. Taeyun's face turned the exact shade of a ripe tomato as he froze like a deer in headlights. You clapped while giggling. But before you could even look at him, Jungkook quickly stood up from the sofa and covered your both eyes before they landed on him. Taeyun muttered under curses and then bolted to his room. You giggled. Jungkook quickly groaned and lifted you. The guests and family members looked at each other, shocked. Ish, this girl. As soon as Jungkook reached the room, he said, What was that, Ryan? You got flinched as he never talked to you this much loudly. He always teases me. Why not me? You replied with your little nose flaring. Jungkook rubbed his temple with a groan, trying to be the adult, and said, I get it, but that is too much. You crushed your arms and retorted. Why not? He deserved it. You folded your arms over your chest. Jungkook's face darkened for a second. He whispered low and urgent. His dark eyes locked into yours. You have no idea how much I love you, princess. Suddenly, the bathroom door creaked open and Minton stepped out while drying his hands with a towel. His eyes instantly landed on you. You both froze looking at Minjun. Why this brat using my bathroom always? He groaned under his breath. Minjun blinked and then clearing his throat awkwardly he spoke. Ah, it must be the same mosquito who was tied last night. Continuing with this mosquito, he said before strolling out. You and Jungkook exchanged wide-eyed looks. First go and lock before he gathered the entire family. When Singh Jungkook stood up. Well, do you have also annoying cousins who comes to ruin your peace? Do let me know in comments.